Are you calling to me? What do you mean, what am I doing out here? I could ask you the same thing. Don't you know it's dangerous to be walking around at this time of night? Especially dark, quiet alleys like this. I'm surprised there's someone out here who hasn't kept up with the news. The city is in a state of panic, what with all those disappearances. Not many people are brave or stupid enough to wander the streets, in the dark, and all alone. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? A few dozen of the lower classes vanish without a trace, but all it takes is one nobleman's daughter, and the local guards are out in full force. No matter, as they can't comb the entire city. Too many paths and walkways, even for an army to scour. I enjoy my little strolls too much to let that stop me. And plus, I get to meet so many interesting people. Speaking of which, your clothes don't look much like the others in this area. Yes, much too refined. Which provokes an interesting question, don't you think? Why would another well-born risk themselves down here of all places? Consider me fascinated. You don't mind if I take a closer look, do you? Oh, don't worry, I won't hurt you. Cross my heart. Why don't you just stay here for a while? You wandered in here at an interesting time. Lucky for you. I've already had my fill this evening, but I could always make an exception, especially for one so delectable. No. I wouldn't call out my pet. It would end badly for both you and whoever was foolish enough to come to your aid. Can you feel the tension rising? It's intoxicating. To think I could tear you apart with a single swipe. You probably wouldn't even feel a thing. Totally painless. But it wouldn't be good for my disguise. And plus, I'm beginning to like this body. The cracks are starting to show again, aren't they? I mean, can't you keep yourself together while we're in the middle of a conversation? It takes a lot of energy to keep him in such good condition, but the feedings help. Most people can barely tell anything is wrong, and those that do, don't dare speak out. Means I have plenty of time to pick my favorites and work my magic. I can only imagine how he's feeling as we tear into our prey. You are still in here, aren't you? Hello? Did you enjoy that last one? Staring on as the light flickered from her eyes. It was almost beautiful, wasn't it? I've never had it so good. So many delicious souls. Your world is just bursting with life. I almost can't keep control of myself. Well, I guess all this talk has made me positively ravenous. I am sorry to have led you along all this time, but I guess I just can't help myself. Not when I hear that heart pumping away in your chest. It's just intoxicating. I can't control myself. I must have it. I need it. Come here. Please, come here. There's no way you're... What the... Oh, I knew it was too good to be true. Well played. You looked like you were ready to drop dead in fear. But you had a trump card all along. An amulet of spiritual protection. You know the only way for me to lay a finger on you would be to tear my way out of this body. I have too much of a good thing going on here to risk running the streets without a host. Well, since neither of us can do much in this situation, how about you tell me why such a delicious little morsel like yourself is wandering the streets? Not looking for little old me, are you? That figures. There's always some group trying to get in my way. The church, mercenary guilds, mages. I should have noticed that amulet sooner. It glimmers with that wretched divine language. Why would I do this? Well, apart from the fact that I'm a demon, you don't know of the boredom that the worlds of hell cause. There's always something bigger, more powerful. Here, I am free. Free from the shackles of the demonic hierarchy. Free to roam and do as I please when I please. The wolf amongst human cattle. I have to say the stories don't do the human world's justice. They talked of small villages, people scraping off the land, barely able to feed themselves. Not worth the pain of trying to get here. What a joke. If they could see this place now, these cities, crawling with the fat, thin, rich, poor, like a buffet all bundled together in a package of walls. So many interesting people. Take, for instance, that blacksmith's apprentice. I did so enjoy tugging on his heartstrings. Sometimes all it takes is a welcome ear and a smiling face. It only took a few days before he was putty in my hands, following me wherever I led. I'll never forget the look on his face when I finally turned. Maybe I was a little too ambitious with the last one. All it took was bumping into her at a fancy clothes shop, a few choice words, and that got the ball rolling. Isn't it funny how people can get attached to those who show a bit of confidence? We wined and dined a little before I asked her to the park one moonlit evening. Maybe if I'd been a little cleaner, I could have avoided this. Another disappearance, just like the others. But I do enjoy the theatrics, and the scene was perfect. People aren't as welcoming to strangers now, I'll admit. But pour on a little charm with a dose of radiant energy, and only few can resist. You yourself seem to have quite the resistance. You might have that amulet, but it doesn't protect you from my influence entirely. You see, I think I figured out how that little trinket works. Let me just step a little closer. See? Those things might work on lesser demons, but I'm on a different level. It's been almost fun to have an actual challenge. In fact, I think I'll spare you this time. Something tells me I can find some other use for you in the future. So, run along, back to your little guild, and give them my regards. Go on then. I'll see you around. Maybe sooner than you think.